Good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, October 6th, 2021, and today we had a range day. You can see the overnight highs and lows. Why don't I pause the video and make them yellow? You can see these overnight highs and lows, and if you look, the midline is exactly lined up with yesterday's opening price. So that's something to note. Also, look at this congestion that formed in the overnight. That had a lot of that formed strong resistance today during our trading hours. So we'll get to talking about the trades today, but really today was just a range day. You really had to play these short-term trend lines. It looked like we were going to have a strong move up here, but that bounced at this level of resistance. And you could have gotten like a 25-point runner in this move pretty easily. So we'll talk about those. And let's take a look. So here, you know what? It's actually important for me to draw this trend down. So we get a break of this trend down, and we only get like one leg to a new low. So oh wait, you know what? No, I think I had it drawn differently. Let's take a look at it this way. Yeah, I had it drawn like that, and that made this bounce, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. So we formed this correction, and I was expecting prices to move to a new low, so I wasn't going long here. But if you are just playing this trend line, you might have taken this first failed second entry short. By this point, you definitely could have taken this second entry long. This breaks lower and then goes higher. It also... Oh, wait, no, it's not. Okay, I was going to say it's also a failure, but this is the failure. I don't think you want to go long there. I didn't take these. I wish I was favoring the, and actually I think this trend line's actually like that. I didn't take these, and I wish I did, just because I was like, no, I'm expecting a short setup here. And then you get another first, second entry long. And this one I didn't want to take because it wasn't off the trend line. It looked like it was a small break of the trend line. But it could be that the trend line was more like this. Let's see, does the midline, it looks like, yeah, maybe the midline works better. I don't know, but I couldn't take any of these because I just didn't know what was happening. And then we go into this level of this range up here that was formed by in the middle of the overnight, and you don't really get much here. First of all, this would have been a great move. Also, another reason I didn't take it was the signal bar wasn't great. Here, this is just super congested, but when we get one touch, another touch that's a lower high, and then this third touch, you might go short there, but that's very aggressive, especially with that doji signal bar. But you can see, looks like a downward move. And then, unfortunately, you don't get an opportunity to enter these. You don't get an opportunity to enter this pullback. These are too far from the EMA. This is just the first entry. And then we shoot right up through the EMA, and this is just the first entry. And then this is our opening price. It looks like we find some resistance there. You get a first entry, failed second entry long. I'd probably take that on the engulfing bar. 15 ticks. This looks like it's a trap. This would be a first entry anyway, so you shouldn't go short there. And they trap a bunch of shorts on that bar though, and then all the people who were short here exit their trade, so that just rockets this thing up. Too far from the EMA. First entry, second entry, too far from the EMA. You might, now that we're looking here, you might take this higher low off the EMA, especially after this violent move up. But you got to keep in mind this level of resistance, but there's plenty of room to the highs. So we do find resistance again there, but we don't get a setup to go short. And first entry, failed second entry long. But this is, I think this looks way too congestive to be taking failures. First entry, second entry short. This is tough. Let's see. Is there a trend line? You might have taken that. Second entry short, but that closes above the EMA, so I don't like that. That ends up being a good move. This looks like a... Oh, no, that's not. And then... So we broke up into this congestion. You might... I was thinking I marked this because this looks like a counter trend breakout, but you could say we formed that from this downtrend. So I don't know. That's a tough call, but I think if you're going to be aggressive, that's probably one you want to take. And then we form some congestion between the midline and the level of support. And this is all just way too congestive, unfortunately. This kind of looks like an uptrend, so you might take this higher low or this higher low. But then when resistance comes in again, and you have plenty of room back to the EMA right here, I think you can take that 1450, ride it back to the EMA for a 2-point move. I like that. First entry, failed second entry. I think this is way too congestive to be taking failures here. But then you get a first entry, second entry short off of that trend line. I think you can go short there. Here we get a this doesn't look like a second entry short. So I think this is really just an aggressive. Oh, okay. So I was looking at this as a, I don't know why I had this drawn. I don't know what happened. This looks to me like it's pretty clear that that's a failed breakout. So, you know, I'm going to mark it as aggressive, though, because it's going into the midline. And then we come up short of the low of that channel. We bounce. That's also at the opening price. So here's the thing, and I forgot to talk about this. This range here, if you draw the measured move is right alongside the opening and price of today, too. So we get this bounce here, and then we come up first entry, second entry. I think you can take this. And it also looks, it's not technically, we made a new low here, so it's first entry, second entry, but this looks like a first entry, failed second entry short. And look at that. Another thing, look at that double test of this price, and then it ticks one tick lower and rockets up. That's a nice trap. That gets you a nice move. And then when we come close to that level of resistance, you might take an aggressive short there. There's no real reason to. It's a first entry, I think. Right? Yeah, it looks like a first entry. We get this tight range here. And we get a counter trend breakout right here with a great signal bar. So you might want to take that. And then this to me just looks like a higher low to break back into this range. So I like that. I took that on the simulator. And then here, this massive move. So we're finding support clearly along the opening price. And so when you get this first failed second entry, I think you can take that. Even though like we didn't break into the range before, I think you can take that, at least expecting prices to get back into this range and go to the highs. we don't know it's going to be a 25-point move, but it ends up being so. And if you want to look at this as a double bottom, you also get another opportunity to take this as a failed second entry short. So that gets you a real nice move. Even on 1 point, that's like one runner, that's $1,200. But we break up, we form this range here. We break out of this range. You might go long there. That's below the EMA. That just made me a little uncomfortable. Make this higher low here. I like that. And then you get a higher low here. And that's a second entry long as well. So I like that. It's a failed second entry short as well. This is just a new low, so unfortunately you can't do anything there. We break up into this congestion above the overnight highs, and you don't get any good long opportunities here. Actually, you might go here. You might go long right here. That's a tough one. But you might do that, especially since it ticks one tick lower than here. This, we get matching lows right here, so you could look at that as a failed second entry short, but we're not looking for failure. So really it's just like a higher low back into congestion. And then you can see here, we start to form resistance right there. And so you could look at that as like a second entry short. It's a failed breakout. And then resistance again right here. So if you want to be aggressive, take that. But that's a higher high, so I was a little uncomfortable with that. This looks like a second entry long, but we didn't. And the bias is still up, but we didn't tick lower. If we ticked lower, I probably would have taken that and went on the engulfing bar. Then we hit that resistance again, and you get this signal bar, so you might take that. I don't think you want to take this lower high because it's just going right into support. And now prices have broken out to with trend, and they're trading higher. And so that's what I saw today. And I got smacked this morning, so I closed up shop early. And I actually opened up a different sim account for practice, because I take my this sim account, I take this seriously. So I want a sim account that I can go to after I have taken, my few trades for the day. I think this will help me with over trading big time, because when you're trading with real money, you're going to switch to the simulator when you're done with your trades for the day. So poor behavior right here, first thing in the morning. So not only is this a first entry, yes, it is off the trend line and we were in a downtrend. Not only is this a first entry, I didn't look at how much risk it was, 22 ticks, and a scalper's profit had already been reached, and then I entered on a limit order. And look at that. Right at this bar's opening price, and this bar opened on its low and closed on its high. So I got trapped and spit out right away. What on earth? Oh, okay. So really, I think if you're going long here, first of all, you're going long into the highs, okay? So there's no reason for you to go long above this bar. Maybe if you want to take a second entry short, you go on the engulfing bar, and that would have worked. I think that would have worked. 1475. Yeah, that would have worked. But I went long above this bar, and it was a trap. Gets you stopped out very quickly. And that was just at the opening, and prices were moving fast, and I was getting emotional. So maybe I need to start sitting out at the opening. Okay, so this scalp did work, and I tried to get a runner, so I moved my stop. I think I only put my runner like up at the top of this congestion, but it didn't work. So let's see if this was a good trade. First entry, failed second entry short. Okay, so it's a second entry long. I'm okay with that. We broke up into this congestion, really, so it's a second entry long off of the lows. Yeah, I'm okay with that for a scalp. It is congestive, though. It's congestive inside of congestion. So it's definitely aggressive and something I need to be aware of. So I think this is, I got smacked. These high risk bars just destroyed my simulator account. But I think this is going to be really good for me, having this multiple simulator accounts. And I would suggest that anyone do that, really. So hope you guys had a good day. I'll be back tomorrow.